Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Only person I can really give salute to is Shakur because he grew up with us. You know, that's why I get on Shakur. You know, sometimes he changes his media, try to be that tough guy, big dad. Let's keep it real. We grew up together. Me and your grandfather, we cool.
That was a little kid. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12 round.
At last, Gervonta "Tank" Davis lost it. And this time, it's for personal reasons. Following alarming claims that Shakur Stevenson had insulted and allegedly trash-talked Davis's longtime trainer and mentor. Calvin Ford, who was known for their strong father-son relationship, the unbeaten boxing champion took to social media in a furious tirade directed at Stevenson. Both fans and insiders were taken aback by Davis's outburst of unbridled fury and threats in support of Ford. This violent outburst might be the start of a very personal conflict that extends well beyond the boxing ring.
I keep telling y'all, he say he's the king, and this vicious right here. I ain't never seen a king hold his kingdom down when you have a vicious crew come through. We coming through. You hear what I say? We vicious. We ain't just boxing. We doing this. Be prepared. Stop playing with my youngin. Stop playing with my youngin.
Since Gervonta Davis was a youngster growing up in West Baltimore, Calvin Ford has served as a mentor, advisor, and calming influence in addition to being his trainer. At the age of 7, Ford met Tank at the Upton Boxing Center, where he assisted in guiding him away from the streets and into boxing. Following his own 10-year jail sentence, Ford devoted his life to mentoring young people. Ford helps Davis become a 3D Vision champion by refining his skills outside of the ring and giving him life advice. As a confidant and bodyguard, he also assists Davis in managing well-known connections, particularly with Floyd Mayweather.
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
Ford has a thorough knowledge of the sweet science of boxing, which informs his teaching method. He placed a strong focus on footwork, technical, accuracy, and defensive abilities, all of which enhanced Davis's innate strength and agility. Their partnership was the ideal fusion of strategic expertise and unadulterated ability.
Tank was the first one in the gym, the last one out the gym. Tank used to sit on the ring like this and watch me train him.
How old is he at this point?
He was like 7, 8.
Okay.
A lot of stuff that I was giving my son was giving it to Tank. So it was a perfect fit. Tank was like the family, you know what I'm saying? And he used to sit at the table because I had another kid named Ramon Manning. He liked to play with them guns, you know what I'm saying? And when I lost him, I was hurt because that was my first time losing a fighter that you put so much into. Remember, I said, Tank, my money running out. And he just looked at me and said, believe in me, coach. Believe. That's what did it.
When he said that,
It's still.
Damn.
I don't hear Tank as the day. I hear Tank as that little boy. Believe in me, coach. And he came in the gym one day and he said, Coach, I seen it. I said, what you seen? I had all the belts on me. He said, I'm gonna be that dude. Rest is history.
Damn. I got goosebumps, low key. That's kind of crazy.
According to Talkport, there were rumors in early January 2024 that Calvin Ford had been detained in Nevada for assault with a lethal weapon. After being arrested, Ford was taken into custody by Baltimore police and was waiting to be transferred to Nevada to face the accusations. In announcing his professional split with his longtime trainer, Gervonta Davis acknowledged his admiration for Ford but underlined the need of concentrating on his professional and personal development at this time. I've always appreciated Calvin and his contributions to my career. But ultimately, I have to look out for myself and my team, he said.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some very, very unfortunate news that has broken. Hopefully, it proves not to be true. And that involves Gervonta Tank Davis, undefeated 3-division world champion, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely acknowledged as the face of the sport of boxing, if not one of the faces. His longtime trainer, mentor, big brother, uncle, father figure, and Coach Calvin Ford. Now we know Coach Calvin Ford has been arrested recently. Over the past week, he has been arrested. And now more details are surfacing as he's still detained. And Coach Calvin is in some very hot water, according to these accusations, allegedly. So he's been detained, he's been arrested, and he's been in jail ever since. And you hear his partner, longtime partner, training partner, and his assistant trainer, Coach Kenny Ellis, and his fighters, you know, they keep saying free Coach Calvin, so on and so forth. If you don't know the backstory and the history of Coach Calvin Ford, you look at the show The Wire, and he's one of the characters on The Wire that, you know, was in the streets, went to jail, got his life together, became a trainer in the sport of boxing, and, you know, opened up Upton Boxing Gym out there in Baltimore.
Prior to the battle at Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford had a brief separation. During an Instagram live session, Davis announced the breakup, calling it a shared choice. Ford discussed the reasons for their split in a recent interview, highlighting that the choice was taken with the interests of both parties in mind. Although the full effects are still unknown, Davis's separation from Ford represents a major turning point in his career. Davis has stated that he is certain he can maintain his success in the ring. He is committed to staying one of the best boxers in the sport and is focused on his next fights.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him. You're training him all the time. You know him. Both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down to, we're working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Many were disappointed by Gervonta Davis's lackluster performance against Lamont Roach, which made many wonder if he was still at his best. Many supporters pointed out that he never displayed his signature power or sharpness. And the obvious absence or estrangement of longtime trainer Calvin Ford only served to feed rumors that Davis was not playing at his best without his mentor and pillared by his side. Critics speculate that this disruption caused Davis to appear slower and less focused than normal.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means, and that means being more active in the early rounds, you know, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. You know, the left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. You know, most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. You know, I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
On March 1st, 2025, Davis faced Lamont Roach Jr. at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. Fireworks were promised and delivered by the night. Outside of the ring, fiercely contested bout that characterized Tank's legendary supremacy ended in a startling majority draw, ending his perfect record and causing his first professional setback. His camp is tense, and Coach Calvin Ford's lively demeanor gave the narrative depth as the spectators pondered the disputed result. The scorecards were overshadowed by the dramatic halt in the 9th round when Davis suddenly took a knee after a jab, igniting indignation and discussion. Rumors of an instant rematch started to circulate, indicating that this thrilling encounter will have a much-awaited sequel.
So, Rick Glazer is reporting that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach sold 149,000 pay-per-view buys. And he tweeted this report at Turkey Ala Sheik. Coincidence? Truthful? Do you trust Rick Glazer's reporting on this issue? If you do, let me know why. If you don't, let me know why not. But you best believe I have a long video coming on this later today. Y'all be sure to check that out. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Without Ford at his side, there was a lot of conjecture that Tank had suffered because of Ford's absence. Davis ended up drawing Roach, the first stain on his record. Strategically, Ford returned to training camp soon after the firestorm spurred a reunion, strengthening their tactical and emotional cohesion. A full circle moment that restored trust before the rematch. Davis lauded the reunion and was clearly happy to have his longtime coach back in his corner.
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know. And them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like daggers. Do you want him to go to jail, or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Tevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
One more question before I go. Why not fight Tank at 135?
Tank ain't gonna fight him, man. He not gonna fight him.
You gotta realize with Tank, he on that other side where he gonna, act
Take
like
on the cupcakes. Alex, say it.
Man, I'm quite sure he's to fight you here.
So you saying he don't want to put that record up?
Look,
Shady, I know Tank.
Is, man.
I know Tank, Shady.
I know Tank too.
Let him talk. Go ahead.
Hey, I know Tank too, and I know for a fact at the end of the day, like, he is not jumping into no fight with me. Like, that's a whole different type of atmosphere. That's not like fighting up saying.
So basically, you telling me Tank's scared?
I ain't gonna say the man scared. I'm just saying for a fact.
So what you saying?
He not jumping in the ring with me.